and welcome to lesson 13. Let's take a moment and gently close the eyes down. Let's notice our bodies and just notice the sensation of sitting wherever it is that you're sitting this morning. This brings us right into the present moment. So just become aware of that sensation of your sit bones against the seat, of your feet on the floor, of your arms rested against your body. The sensation of having your eyes closed down. And now just become aware if there's any extra use of muscles. So if you're using any muscles that you don't need to. Perhaps your hands are clasped, or you're making fists. I invite you to gently open your hands, to soften your jaw. And just give yourself a sense of release, a sense of openness, opening to this new day. And then we'll just bow our heads down to our hearts as we make our statement to the universe. We begin this day in gratitude. We open our hearts and we surrender to love. We ask love and light to lead the way through the minutes and the hours of this new day. We welcome joy, fun, and abundant prosperity. We recognize that all encounters are wholesome and that all experiences can be met with a peaceful heart that is anchored in the truth that we are one, we are love, we are free. And we release these words, and so we let it be. Okay, lesson 13. A meaningless world engenders fear. So the script that I write on the world, on that blank slate, engenders fear. Today's idea is really another form of the preceding one, except that it's more specific to the emotion aroused. Actually, a meaningless world is impossible. And listen carefully, because this can get a little confusing. Nothing without meaning exists. Okay, so there's a meaningless world. It has no meaning, therefore it does not exist. However, it does not follow that you will think you perceive something that has no meaning. On the contrary, you will be particularly likely to think that you do perceive it. So we believe we see this world that is real. Recognition of meaninglessness arouses intense anxiety in all the separated ones. So your belief that you're separated from love arouses intense anxiety. And when we feel intensely anxious, we tend to have defenses up and walls up. It represents a situation in which love and the ego challenge each other as to whose meaning is to be written in the empty space that meaninglessness provides. And the Course tells us that ego speaks first and loudest. So the voice for love or the voice for wisdom speaks quietly. And in order to hear it, we need to be still. The ego rushes in frantically to establish its own ideas there, fearful that the void may otherwise be used to demonstrate its own importance and unreality. And on this alone, it is correct. Okay, so it's almost like a little bit of a riddle. There's something that's not there. We believe it is there. But if we think about it not being there, we get frightened. And I kind of can relate this to, sitting with ourselves. Sometimes when we're asked to sit quietly with ourselves, we fear that. So we put in distractions all the time because we're really uncomfortable with anything that is empty or meaningless, so to speak, or blank. We always want to fill in the blanks. Blanks make us uncomfortable. But of course, it's just the ego that is uncomfortable with the blanks. It is essential, therefore, that you learn to recognize the meaningless and accept it without fear. So again, if any of you have ever tried to meditate and initially felt really uncomfortable and fearful with the quiet and the stillness, but you gave it time, you will realize after time that it gets easier and that there is nothing to fear. And I remember many years ago giving up alcohol and going to AA meetings for a time. And I was like a cat on a hot tin roof. I just couldn't stay still. I couldn't be present. I used to wear these bangles and I used to jingle jangle them the whole time, playing with them, fiddling and foostering. It was just so difficult for me to be still and be quiet because, of course, all my feelings would start to come up if I did that. So it's a little bit like that if you've ever had that feeling. And we want to start to get comfortable. But that's why we're doing it slowly and mindfully and at the pace of peace. The exercises for today, which should be done about 3 or 4 times for not more than a minute or so at most each time, are to be practiced in a somewhat different way from the preceding ones. With eyes closed, repeat today's idea to yourself. Then open your eyes and look about you slowly, saying, I am looking at a meaningless world. So the idea is that the meaningless world engenders fear. So we say that with our eyes closed. And then when we look around, we say, I am looking at a meaningless world. Repeat this statement to yourself as you look about you, then close your eyes and conclude with, a meaningless world engenders fear, because I think I am in competition with love. So remember that love is that beautiful blank slate, that absolute light. You may find it difficult to avoid resistance in one form or another to this concluding statement. Whatever form such resistance may take, remind yourself that you are really afraid of such a thought because of the vengeance of the enemy. You are not expected to believe the statement at this point, and that's really important. You're not expected to believe the statement at this point, okay, that you see love as the enemy, that you are in competition with love. You will probably dismiss it as preposterous. So if right now you're thinking, this is crazy, I don't really want to do this, then that's what's meant to be happening. That's kind of natural. Note carefully, however, any signs of overt or covert fear which it may arouse. So just be an observer in this. Remember, you're here to find peace, and we want to move at the pace of peace. This is our first attempt at stating an explicit cause and effect relationship of a kind, which you are very inexperienced in recognizing. And of course, the ego is even going to react to a statement like that. It's like, oh, inexperienced, am I? But yes, you are. This is a whole new way of thinking. And from this, you are inexperienced. Do not dwell on the concluding statement and try not to even think of it except during the practice periods. And that will suffice. Okay. So, really, when we do this, we're going to drop our armor because we come fully armed to every situation. That's what we've been trained to do. We feel we need to defend ourselves. We feel we need this armor around us. We feel we need to protect ourselves from being hurt. We don't trust that the universe has got our backs, that love has already got this. So we're being asked now to kind of let our guard down a little, let the defenses down, begin to lean in a little bit to love, So let's take the exercise. So A meaningless world engenders fear is your statement. You say this with your eyes closed, maybe repeat it a few times. A meaningless world engenders fear. And then open your eyes and slowly look about you. And just say, I am looking at a meaningless world. Just letting your eyes lighten, whatever they do. I'm looking at a meaningless world. I'm looking at a meaningless world. And then finally, close your eyes again. A meaningless world engenders fear because I think I am in competition with love. We think there's something that we have to defend. We think there's something we have to look out for. We think we have to keep ourselves safe from all that we have written in the world, all the meaning that we have given the world. Okay. So if anything is, neutral or empty, the ego rushes right in. So today we're just attempting to recognize this. That's all. Just recognize this. So we're going to let the lesson go. And you're not even going to think about it until you come back to your next practice. A few practice periods today, and just do it again before you go to sleep tonight. And right now, gently close your eyes down. And as you close your eyes down, just begin to notice your breath. And breathing into your heart center. Feel your heart fill. And as you breathe out, just be willing to let go. Just letting go of the old. Part of this course is welcoming a whole new way. Well, all of this course is welcoming a whole new way of thinking. A whole new way of seeing the world. And just see, are you willing to let go of some of the old on that out breath? And welcome in the new on the in breath. Each day getting a little bit more comfortable with the quiet. And right now we will take some quiet time. Just being present to the breath. And when you're ready, drop your chin into your chest. Gently open your eyes with your gaze downwards. And lift your chin. Open your eyes. I'm sorry, you already have your eyes open, don't you? Lift your chin, look around you, maybe have a stretch, and have a wonderful day. Take care.